Mission Impossible 8 release date, story and everything we know about Dead Reckoning Part 2. The Mission Impossible 8 release date is set for 2025, and there's intense speculation on what's next for Ethan Hunt after Dead Reckoning Part 1. Mission Impossible 8 will pick up from the dramatic cliffhanger left by Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and it could be the most dangerous impossible mission of them all. Story details about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 are still mostly under wraps, and there's been much speculation about whether any new cast members will be announced or what star Tom Cruise could do to top the incredible feats he's achieved playing IMF agent Ethan Hunt. Since the franchise has already been a roller coaster of twists, turns, and belief-defying action, speculation on what to expect from Mission Impossible 8 is high. When it arrives in 2025, Mission Impossible 8 will find Ethan Hunt in a precarious position. Dead Reckoning Part 1 story saw Ethan and his loyal IMF team chasing after a foe from Ethan's past and a rogue AI, dubbed the Entity. Part 1 ends on a cliffhanger with one of Ethan's team dead and a desperate race to find and destroy the Entity before other interested parties can obtain it. The stakes have never been higher for Tom Cruise's super spy, and the next Mission Impossible movie is already one of the most eagerly anticipated in the franchise so far. The latest Mission Impossible 8 news. The latest Mission Impossible 8 news came on October 24, 2023. It was revealed by Paramount that after a year of unwanted filming delays and other production hiccups, the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 release date has been pushed back to 2025. In addition to this, Mission Impossible 8 appears to be changing title and won't be called Dead Reckoning Part 2. The release date delayed to May 23, 2025, from June 28, 2024, was somewhat expected given the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes in 2023. The title change, however, was a surprise, since the title of the previous movie is Dead Reckoning Part 1 and clearly was the first half of a two-part story. The news Mission Impossible 8 won't be called Dead Reckoning Part 2 was a shock. There hasn't been a new title revealed yet, nor has there been any update from Paramount on whether this will impact the plot of the next Mission Impossible movie. Production hasn't been completed but was well underway when the strike started, so it seemed unlikely there'd be any significant changes. A release date delay of a year is no small change, however, which means it's entirely possible there are significant adjustments being made to Mission Impossible 8. Mission Impossible 8 release date. The Mission Impossible 8 release date is May 23, 2025. The premiere was previously set for June 2024 but was pushed back by almost a year by Paramount. This will be 29 years after the release of the original Mission Impossible, ranking it among the longest-running action franchises ever. Like Dead Reckoning Part 1 and the preceding two Mission Impossible movies, Mission Impossible 8 will be written and directed by Cruise's longtime collaborator Christopher McQuarrie. Mission Impossible 8 cast. The cast of Mission Impossible 8 contains many returning names from the cast of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Tom Cruise is once again returning as international super spy Ethan Hunt. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames will also return as Benji and Luther respectively, two of Hunt's closest friends and most trusted advisors. Other returning cast members of Mission Impossible 8 include Vanessa Kirby as the White Widow and S.I. Morales as new villain Gabriel, a shadowy figure from Ethan's past. Despite Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 ending with assassin Paris being badly wounded, Palm Clemente is confirmed to return for the Mission Impossible 8 cast. Rolf Saxon will return to the franchise for Mission Impossible x8, reprising his role as CIA analyst William Donlow from the 1996 original. Donlow was last seen being demoted by Henry Cherney's Kittredge, who will also return for Part 2, and reassigned to a polar substation in Alaska for the Langley mess. Sadly, Rebecca Ferguson is unlikely to return as former MI6 agent Ilsa Faust, as her character was killed in Part 1 following a duel with Gabriel. Newcomers to Mission Impossible 8 cast include Holt McCallany as the Secretary of Defense, Nick Offerman as Sydney, and Ted Lasso as Hannah Waddingham in an undisclosed role. Mission Impossible 8 story details. Specifics are being kept under wraps, but there are already some hints at what the Mission Impossible 8 plot will be. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 ends when Ethan manages to recover the key to the Entity's chamber that everyone is seeking. The issue is that this chamber is located inside the wreck of a Russian submarine dubbed the Sevastopol, and while Ethan's mission is to destroy the rogue AI, many other nations are trying to recover and potentially weaponize it. That means the whole planet will be coming after Ethan and his IMF team, including Newbie Grace, to get that key and stop his mission. Hunt and his team have no idea where the submarine actually is, so finding the sunken Sevastopol will likely take up part of Mission Impossible 8's story. The movie will have to answer some other lingering mysteries. There's the question of who exactly was Marie, and what was her relationship to Ethan. Gabriel is shown killing Marie right in front of Ethan in a flashback set 30 years prior, which spurred Ethan to join the IMF. Other unanswered questions the Mission Impossible 8 story needs to address include where Luther disappeared to with the hard drive containing a piece of the villainous AI, and why exactly is Jasper Briggs so intent on bringing in Hunt. The fact his surname is the same as Dan Briggs, the founder and first leader of the IMF team in the original Mission Impossible TV series, could be a clue in itself.